How's it going? This is Andrew, the founder of MicroAcquire, and in this video I'm going to go through how to actually make an offer on a startup within MicroAcquire. So without further ado, what you see here is a listing page. It's private. I need to be granted information by the seller, so I'm going to go ahead and send a message: experience in email marketing, would love to learn more. Something like that. You know, I'd actually recommend adding a little bit more than that, just to tell the buyer a little bit about yourself, why you're excited about business. But for brevity, sending that away. And this is really what I'm going to go over today is our letter of intent feature. I'm so excited to have this feature out. So I just sent that over to the seller. So now the seller will get that request from me and they will grant me access. Now the seller can chat back with me like, hey, let's set up a call. I'd love to meet you or something like that. Also, what kind of experience do you have with acquisitions? So it's been sent off. So maybe I get a call on the buyer and I really want to acquire the startup. It looks fantastic. So how do I do that within MicroAcquire? Well, right now you can't. Everything goes offline. So we've built a really slick way for you to make an offer on the startup. So now when I'm logged in as a buyer, if I go to my requests, I can see the make offer button here. And then also on the listing page. So if I click listing, I can make an offer. This is where you can build a letter of intent. So what we're trying to do is standardize and automate and just make legal doc creation so much easier for startup acquisitions. And we're starting with the letter of intent and we'll move on to other docs, but this is how slick this is. So I can edit the startup name. If there's a corporation, I can change that. I can put in my purchase price. I'm gonna offer $1 million. Let's make it 2. And then also we have just closing conditions, all just basic stuff that you would include in an NDA. And I should note this isn't all encompassing. NDAs can come in many forms, but again, we're trying to standardize this. And so these are just kind of the main points. But if there's like a certain key employee that you would need to retain, I could put Bill Gates or something like that. Maybe it's like the CTO and I need them to stay on. I recommend buyers have a confidentiality clause and sellers as well. It's just good for everybody. And then absolutely use an escrow process. So with this flow, you can create an LOI and then also begin the escrow process after you've done your due diligence and you've signed an asset purchase agreement, which we do provide. So we're going to select both the seller and the buyer are going to split the escrow fees, and I could download and review my LOI. So this is LOI I just generated. So what before would take like back and forth emails with attorneys, I've seen so many different LOIs, and now we're standardizing it and really making it standard. Obviously you can edit this and add more to it if you choose, but you can quickly send a proposal to acquire the startup. So I'm going to go ahead and sign this LOI and then send this over to the seller. And then to actually send the letter of intent, what I'm going to need to do is say, hey, Nathan, really enjoyed our call and thanks for the due diligence items. I'd like you to see my letter of intent to acquire your startup. And I can go ahead and send this to Nathan, who is the seller of the startup. So you'll see some fun confetti coming down. And then as I go over to seller account, I can go into requests and actually see the letter of intent that has just been sent to me. So I can review it. I can download it as a seller. I can have an attorney review this before I sign. And if you do need help finding any sort of legal help, we have a full directory. So just click advisors at the top. We have help for everything from accounting, legal, negotiations, just general M&A. So definitely check this out if you need help on the legal end. And then you would go ahead and sign this and your company name. Boost. And now this is where the acquisition starts really moving forward. So now you can move forward with due diligence. Now as a buyer, what I can do is I can open up an escrow payment. So now I'm able to start an escrow payment. So I'll click start escrow. I'll check off I've done my homework on due diligence, which get a ton of just really great content for due diligence. So if you're a buyer or even a seller, highly recommend going through the amount of content that we've put together on every single topic you could possibly think of related to startup acquisitions. But anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward with starting escrow transaction. And this will take me to escrow.com, where I can basically start the process of setting up an escrow payment to secure the acquisition. So I hope this video was helpful. Again, what we're really trying to do at MicroAcquire is simplify and make startup acquisitions easier. And this is the first step. You find a startup that you really like, and you need to send a letter of intent. And then from there, you go through due diligence, which we'll be building tools for, which we're really excited about. And then also other documents like asset purchase agreements, which we provide. So this is kind of just like the start of really kind of us trying to standardize and simplify and just make the whole process easier for everyone. So again, I'm super excited. I hope this is helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And again, thanks for everybody's support. Really appreciate it. Cheers.